Hello, everyone. I'm Adam with Demiplane. Thank you for joining me for this week's development update and community Q&A session. As always, we're going to go through the agenda, why we're here today. We're going to start with what the latest updates are, all the development that is going on. We've got a very busy team right now. We are really trying to make every hour count before we head into this holiday season, where we can have some time to recharge the batteries. But lots and lots of activity. We'll talk about latest updates. We have our first giveaway on the Dev Update stream today, and we're going to do this pretty consistently. Pretty much from here on. So check back in each week. And this week we are starting off with a bang. We are giving away a Pathfinder Ultimate Bundle, and if you have not tried Pathfinder 2e, then this is a lot of content. There is so much content for Pathfinder 2e. It is top notch. It is great. You've got rule books, of course, but my personal favorite is the setting information in the Lost Omens line. So this Ultimate Bundle is going to include everything that is currently available on Pathfinder Nexus. We're going to give that away a little bit later in the stream. And then upcoming, what's on deck to be worked on, we'll go through that. And then we will end with questions, and you can ask those questions starting now. Just type the word question in chat, and Demibot, our wonderful AI, probably not quite AI, but who knows, might gain sentience one day. Companion is going to collect all of those questions, and I will get to as many as I have time for at the end of the stream. So latest updates, let's jump in with Pathfinder Nexus. The next thing, we released several books. Let's see, was it last week or the week before that? Time is a construct at this point. And, it's the kind of construct that is like a slime golem. It's just kind of all over everything. But we released several books. If you haven't seen those, check those out, especially the Kingmaker Anniversary Edition that is up on Pathfinder Nexus now. But what we are now turning our attention toward is we've got a big release coming. That's next week. So not tomorrow, but the Wednesday after that. We have Lost Omens Impossible Lands, and we also have the next installment. I think this is the 5th installment of Bloodlords, The Adventure Path, A Taste of Ashes. So that is coming next week. So the team is working on all of that, making sure that we have everything ready to go for that date. And then in the internal alpha on the character builder and the digital character sheet, we've got that pre-alpha build that I talked about last time. This last week, late last week, I saw the first build of kind of putting everything together in an environment where people can access it externally for the character sheet. So it's kind of the initial build. It does not look like we want it to look yet, of course, because we're just getting all the pieces in place. But we're starting to put all those puzzle pieces together. And we also have, early dice roller coming together, and really loving the way that this dice roller looks. You're going to be able to, on the sheet, click various areas that would be dice expressions for different things that you would want to roll. Like if you're going to make an attack roll, if you're going to roll damage, you'll be able to click and roll those very, very easily right there from the sheet. But then also, in addition to that, there will be I love calling it this, it's a FAB. So it's an acronym that stands for Floating Action Button. And so I just love saying the word FAB. But you've got the FAB that is going to also be on screen, where you can click the little dice icon, and then you can roll any kind of dice that you would want to roll. So we saw the first version of that be built up. We've seen other versions, of course, as we've been developing, but it's all starting to come together in preparation for that first closed alpha invite that is going to go out at the moment. That is still targeted, hopefully before the end of this month. We're optimistic at this stage about that. And again, just as a reminder of what's going on with the closed alpha, we're going to give you a lot more information about that as those first invites go out. But this is very much a developer alpha. This is for us to get some initial impressions from players and fans out there who are knee deep in Pathfinder, to make sure that we're checking the right high level boxes with everything that's going on with the character tools. And so this closed alpha is very much about impressions. Want to manage the expectations. You're not going to be able to just jump into the closed alpha immediately and start playing every single kind of character that you would want to across your group. It's not going to be a fully finished product at this point in time, but again, very valuable if you jump into the alpha to provide that feedback of, do you see the potential in what's going on? Are we headed down the right track? And then we will be, throughout the alpha period, finishing that up, and then we'll get that to that open beta standpoint. So that's kind of the progression that we're going to. But we're excited to start letting some people behind the curtain and to see everything that we're putting together. And again, for us to get some of that early validation that we're going the right direction. So, and if we're not headed in the right direction on some of the things, we absolutely will be taking that feedback and we'll be incorporating that, because the whole point of putting all this work into everything is for us to have tools that are going to scratch the itch and be what people need to use at their tables out there. So we're very excited about that starting very soon here. On Vampire Nexus, we also have an update on Cults of the Blood Gods in Chicago by Night. So we actually did receive the files yesterday, late yesterday. So we've got the updated files. We are going to be taking a look at those and trying to parse out where the differences are, from the older versions. So we're going to be working on all of that, and then we are going to get all of those incorporated. I'm not exactly sure. We don't have an ETA for that yet. But, my gut check right now that you can't possibly hold me to, because this is a little bit of an unscientific, projection here. But I would love to be able to get this back at least to the World of Darkness team by next week. And if we're able to do that by next week, depending on that review cycle on their side, we will make that go live as soon as we get an approval from their team. So, I think it is a very possible thing that before heading into the U.S. Thanksgiving is maybe a good kind of threshold to throw out there. So hopefully those two books will be able to release them by that time. But either way, we're diligently working on them, and we'll keep everybody updated there. And then on the Alien RPG Nexus, we have submitted Colonial Marines to Free League. We're going to work on Destroyer of Worlds. We've done some early work on that so far, but Colonial Marines is out for review. Hope to have more news on that pretty soon as well. It looks great. I can't wait to get that one out there. There is so much goodness in the Colonial Marines operations manual that I think if you have played this game, or if you're wanting to try it out, that is my favorite angle in the Alien universe movies, is that concept of especially Bill Paxton and everything that happened with him. Just such an iconic character, and I love that he's iconic in ways that sometimes we don't think about iconic. But either way, love what's going on in this source book, and you should check that out. We'll keep you posted on exactly when that is available on Demiplane. So moving forward a little bit here, this is just a little bit more eye candy to consume here. But the dice roller that I was mentioning, this is not final. We've got some styling tweaks that are still happening here, but this is what we started to see this week in our initial build as we were putting that together. Another really important thing that again, we're just kind of stitching all of the pieces of the flesh golem together right now. And at some point we're going to say it's alive. But as we're putting this together, another really important milestone is just a little example here with the barbarian of thinking through. And don't pay too much attention to this data, because this absolutely could be test data. It might not even be right. I haven't looked too closely at it, but it's more highlighting the idea of nested choices. So the way that you go through and select an instinct for a barbarian, and if you choose a dragon instinct, for instance, you're going to then have to make another choice of which type of dragon, which color of dragon, you possibly would be using there. And of course, I would choose red always, unless I was going metallic, and then I would always choose brass. Brass dragon is by far my favorite dragon in any of the things that are out there. Love brass dragons, but ultimately, just those nested choices and that being really clear and simple flow to follow is a really important thing. And so that's another piece that has come in this week that I think is really important, and we're going to continue to kind of reinforce that. And as we move to other games with our character tools, the character builder is going to be able to handle any of those circumstances. Another thing that has really stood out to me, even this week, as I am looking at many of these things, the team is working on it. The engine approach that we have ended up taking with our character tools are giving us some incredibly powerful flexibility. And so even as you are selecting, and I think a good example of this, so we've got this here. I was trying to just verify what's on the screen here. So with, dragon type, you've got your category, you've got your breath weapon. So those columns that you're seeing over there in that right pane of the character builder here, those columns are specific. The information that's being displayed is specific to the dragon instinct. So if you had selected animal instinct, for instance, you're going to get a different thing delivered to you and your character. And that's going to be a special kind of attack with the animal instinct. And so the columns that you would actually see over here to help you solidify and finalize your choice, it's going to have, attack, and it's going to have damage, and it's going to have traits for that attack. So we are able to customize the columns even for the information that is displayed. And so many systems, including systems that I worked on in a past life and everything else, are very closed. And essentially, we would have had to kind of generalize the columns. And so it would have ended up being something like, the name. It wouldn't have said dragon type there, for instance. It would say name. It would say, category, potentially, if that was, standard across all the different things. But then it would say something like notes, and then it would just be, kind of a free for all. But the engine approach that we've taken allows for that kind of flexibility, and it's going to hopefully make things even more clear to people who are jumping in and looking at this game for the first time. Even easier for veterans who are very deep into their 50th campaign that they're playing here. And so again, that kind of flexibility, we're really excited about it. It's also the thing that is going to let us start working through some of the variant and optional rules at a much more rapid pace than if this was a more closed system. And so again, getting to see some of that playing out, even in small ways like this, is a really exciting moment for me and for the team as we're starting to stitch all the pieces of the puzzle together there. All right, let's jump forward into our giveaway. So we are going to do the giveaway. Unless, I don't know, we might have missed the cue since this is our first time doing it. I don't know. Maybe the giveaway already happened in chat. I don't think it has, but okay. Giveaway is going right now. Perfect is what the voice in my head, who is Josh Simons, is telling me. The giveaway is going. So if you haven't joined that giveaway, I think there's still time. You can type, hashtag epic loot into chat, and we are going to pick a winner whenever they are telling you we are going to pick a winner in chat. So this is an ultimate bundle for Pathfinder. This is so much content. This is a very expensive bundle. I think we have it up for an incredibly good price. considering how much stuff there is there. But there's just a whole lot of stuff. And so if you haven't, snagged this Ultimate Bundle yet, join the giveaway there in chat. And if you do win, you can redeem that at demiplane.com/activate. And that's where you will input the product key code that you receive here. But yeah, enter to win the Pathfinder Ultimate Bundle. And we will do more of these as we go forward as well. We'll highlight a variety of games with the giveaways, and have different types of giveaways. And, in the future, we might have, different ways to do the giveaways, some fun stuff that we've got in the works. So we'll share more when we have that. On the upcoming front, so this is anything that is on deck, as I've already talked about. The Pathfinder Character Tools closed alpha. Our target is late November. We're going to share more information on that, very soon here. If we're not able to hit that late November, it should give you a pretty good idea that we're not going to leave the year without that happening. So we're confident enough, we're close enough at this stage, again, for the start of closed alpha, to know that we're talking a matter of weeks here, and we're definitely not talking about this extending past that into the new year. Barring anything catastrophic, like Amazon's AWS just stops working for everyone on the internet or something, but we can't really control those kind of things. But yeah, that's what we're looking at. It's going to be here really soon. The roadmap for game content for Pathfinder has not changed. The moment that we're able to come up for some air with all the work that's going on with Character Tools, the next adventure path that we're going to work on trying to catch up the back catalog is Agents of Edgewatch. And then we have added Treasure Vault here. So Treasure Vault is coming next February, I believe. And that product is looking really, really fun. So I can't wait for that one. And I can't wait for you to see it. But we're also, going to have that ready for next February. On the vampire side, we're going to continue to work through the different books that are not in place yet, after we get through the updates that are needed for Cults of the Blood Gods and Chicago by Night. On the alien side, Heart of Darkness, we have added Chariot of the Gods there as well. So we're going to work on that, make sure that we have that in place. And then let's not forget that we are, and this really should move to the latest updates, because we are certainly work in progress here. But just, reminder that the Hunter Nexus is going to be starting its early access period on 11/29, and that one is coming together very nicely. We're really looking forward to that being in place. And if you haven't tried Hunter before, if you played Vampire, for instance, but you haven't tried Hunter, it's a different mindset, it's a different feel, but one that I enjoy a whole lot too. So really a great game. And I like the I don't know, I'll throw out the word hopelessness that is involved in Hunter. But there's something very satisfying about pulling one over on, some kind of challenge that is far, far beyond you. And so that's kind of the mindset that I feel when I'm playing Hunter. But it's a great game, and we're going to have early access for that starting on 11/29. All right, I think it's time for questions. Let me jump over here and see what we've got. So we've got plenty of time for questions. If you have any, go ahead and continue to ask those. Type the word question, and then follow that by the question itself. And Demibot will grab them. All right, let's see what we've got here. Anchor 89, is the die roller a 3D or 2D, and can I switch between the two? That's a great question. So I'm going to go ahead and put out there that we would love to see 3D at some point. And personally, I can tell you, and I'm not we haven't formalized this yet, but I can personally tell you that I can't wait to see the 3D stuff, and I'm going to do everything I can to make it happen. But at the moment, everything is 2D. If we ever did introduce a 3D, then the idea would be you can certainly switch off the 3D models from bouncing around on your screen. That's something that we would that would be very important to us if we ever introduced a 3D version of the dice. But to start out, we are going to focus on getting results and getting results very quickly. And then over time, we will add some of those other layers to that. And again, personally, I'm looking forward to that. All right, D and Geezer, will you be getting free leagues the One Ring? We do not have any news on that yet. So what I can say, is we don't have the license to do that with free leagues, since they work with so many licensors. We have to kind of on an individual basis work through the different games that we have. And so some of the games that we do have the license for at this point are Alien. We also have, of course, Mutant Year Zero, because we have the early access periods live for those two Nexuses. This is not in any order that we're going to necessarily tackle them. So please don't misunderstand me saying this, but a couple that I can confirm that we do have the license for at this point are Vason. We have Forbidden Lands. We have Coriolis, and so there are a few others that we have, but I would like to be looking at a list to make sure that I don't overspeak or speak about something that's in progress. But I can say that our intent is to work through as many of the free league games as we can. We would love to do the One Ring, but it's just one of those that we do not have confirmed on that license list yet, because there's work involved with each of those individually. All right, Anchor 89, are the dice customizable? I don't know exactly what you mean by that. I know that you had the question about the 3D portion there, and clearly with no 3D, we're not talking that kind of customization from the start. But you will be able to choose which dice are going into an expression. There are going to be options. So, for instance, when you are rolling damage for the Blade of Four Energies, I think we have several items that we use as kind of what we call our worst case, but if you're a player, maybe best case scenarios here. And really all that means is just what's the most complicated thing that we can do. So with the Blade of Four Energies, there are many, many options to this. And so ultimately, if you're rolling damage for a weapon like that, you're going to actually have kind of a default damage set, but there will be a context menu that you'll be able to see the different types of damage. And we will be automating the different kinds of dice expressions for those different damages. So, we're trying to do as much as we can to help with those. We're trying to make it, as simple as we can to roll, criticals, critical successes, and so on. So, in that sense, they are, not necessarily customizable, but there's going to be a good bit of automation in place for that. But then at the end of the day, within the floating action button, where you can access just kind of the dice themselves, you can roll any combination of dice that you would want. If you mean something different than what I'm answering there, feel free to ask a follow-up, and I'll see if I can get to it. Let's see. Andred Wintersbane, how does one join the alpha? Missed that part. Yeah, we haven't really put the formal information out about that yet, but I can share that if you have invested and participated in early access to this point, if you're a Demiplane member, or if you have unlocked Pathfinder content on Pathfinder Nexus, that is a surefire way to get an invite to the closed alpha as that starts. And so don't have the details yet on exactly how we're going to roll those invites out. We might do 3 people to start just to make sure that everything works. And then we might start ramping that up. That process won't take too long to start ramping things up. But we will share more information on that here, very, very soon. but probably just ahead of sending the invites themselves, we will do that. But I can say that if you have unlocked content in Pathfinder Nexus, or if you're a Demiplane member, that is a surefire way to get an invite during the closed alpha period. And then we'll talk about other ways to potentially get in at a later point. Let's see. Neurolancer. Sorry if this was answered. When the character management is an open to users for alpha beta testing, would the options be from the entire book collection? Or are you planning on restricting the books which are available? This is a good question, and I have to take that first part there. So what I can tell you is that at closed alpha, there is a good chance, a very good chance, that not all, and in fact, I'll go ahead and confirm, not all options are going to be available at the start of closed alpha, which is, the invite only small number of people, kind of participating there. And so, examples of this is, the witch class might not be available in the builder at that point, because we're working on some of the custom elements that class needs to be fully supported. So at the start of closed alpha, you will not have all options from all books. It's not going to be clean cut as far as you won't have anything from the advanced player's guide. You'll only have the core rule book. That's not how it's going to work. It's going to be more about what different elements, what kind of support they need. And so you might end up having some things from Secrets of Magic at the beginning of closed alpha, but maybe not other elements of that. So that's our current thought process there. But what I can say is, by the time that we get to a point for an open beta, which is when we would let anyone in the public come in and access the character tools. At that point, it's going to be really hard for me to say that it will support everything from every book, because there's so much, so many books and so much different kinds of content. But I can tell you that the intent is to have an incredibly wide range of coverage on those things. So we might not have all the optional, variants available at kind of that open beta period, but you can bet that we're going to have all of the classes that are available in the game. We're going to have, most all of the feats. So all of those things will be integrated. The target would be, by the time we let the entire fan base in, we would be in a place where it is, it is finished from the standpoint of you can use it, and we feel confident you can use it to play your games. But then, like I said, I need to leave a window open there, because we might get, by the time open beta comes, there might be a new book that drops that has all kinds of new things that all of a sudden we're going to have to react to. Again, as I said earlier, the engine approach that we've taken with the builder, the great news for us, and that we're already seeing start to be validated, is it is going to be a much, much easier process for us to be able to customize and develop things for new types of rules and new options as they come out than maybe it would be if we were in a more closed system. So I know that might seem like I'm skirting a lot of lines there. I think the too long didn't listen version might be that at the start of closed alpha, definitely you should not expect to see the critical mass of options available to you, because we're still going to be working through some interface things with some of those options. But by the time that we get to open beta, or what we would really say is introducing the character tools into early access, because that's when everybody can. When we get to that point, the goal and the target is to definitely have the critical mass in place, hopefully covering the most popular variant rules, and for it to be something that we can say, hey, we have confidence that 95% of the groups are going to have everything that they need out there. So that's kind of how we're thinking about it. All right, let's see. Got several more questions, and we're technically out of time, but I don't have another meeting to get to, and so I'm going to go ahead and answer a few more. So let's see. Neurolancer, will I be able to share my beta testing character with others who are not in the beta? This is an excellent question, and I don't know exactly what you mean. Share my beta testing character with others. If you're meaning for them to be able to view it, then they're not going to be able to view it through permissions at the start of closed alpha. However, we do understand that out there you probably have a group that you're playing with, and you might want to play test and use some of this with your group. And so, no details yet, but we are working on a way for you to be able to include others in the closed alpha, and possibly secure invites for some of your friends out there as well. So we'll share more in the next few weeks on that. Let's see. Phoenix D. Black. This is a great, important question. Do you change favorite dragon opinion as the one on favorite dinosaurs? I would reserve the right to do that, but I don't. What I can say is a brass dragon has been my favorite really since the first time I, played D&D. I interacted with a brass dragon, and the dungeon master was really playing the NPC very well, and I just like Brass Dragon's outlook and kind of their culture, if you will. That might be a little bit too strong of a word, but I am a fan of Brass Dragons, and I also love the way that they look. And there's something classic to me about breathing fire. And so, yeah, Brass Dragon has always been my favorite. That's not to say that some other dragon could come along and change my mind when I'm in a different season of my life. But unlike with dinosaurs, I would say that the favorite dragon has remained very consistent over the years. Anchor 89, will there be an option to buy gift cards before this holiday season? Probably not going to make it for this holiday season. That's not currently in the cards. I would feel very confident that it would be in place before we come back around to the holidays next time. Anchor 89, any Black Friday sales to tell my friends who are on the fence? More details to come. I guess things are get. I mean, all of the holidays are approaching very very quickly, so we'll share more if any of that stuff is coming pretty soon here. Joe Sanu, will the GM be able to see die rolls made on the character manager? Not at the start of closed alpha, but we definitely understand that having the ability to have all of the roles be connected for people to be able to see what's going on with those roles is a very important feature and something that is absolutely on the roadmap. Can't say yet exactly at what phase or stage that's going to enter, but we recognize it as very important, and it absolutely is on the list. Andred Wintersbane, is there a plan to allow custom content? As an example, can GM give player custom items? Another great question. So we haven't talked much at all yet about Homebrew. Homebrew is a system that is going to exist. It's not going to be fully in place at the start of closed alpha. What is going to be possible, kind of as we get into the alpha here, is the ability to customize and modify items. And so, you can kind of, in a little bit of a hacky way, customize an item to the point where it looks and feels like a different item. And so, what I mean by that is you'll be able to go to a piece of equipment and customize things like the name. You'll be able to, change the way that the damage dice expression works. You'll be able to give, a bonus to attacks with it. Whatever the different fields that are available for whatever that item is, you'll be able to override those and kind of adjust those ad hoc. And so that is kind of the workaround method for that. But we will have an actual dedicated homebrew system that will come a little bit later in the process. That's something that honestly we haven't put a ton of work into that yet because we needed to see exactly where we were going to land and how the entire system was going to work on how we were even going to enter items and elements into what was going on with the engine. And so now that we're at that place, we have started the conceptualization of homebrew and what that's going to be, and we'll share more information about it. It's definitely on the list. Homebrew, this can't exist without the ability to add custom elements to the game, and so it will absolutely be something that will be in place, just not at the start of closed alpha. Let's see. Decran82. Will the Demiplane monthly subscription ever be offered as an annual subscription? Certainly something that we're looking into. And I imagine we'll have more information on that, before too much longer. But definitely something we're looking into. Let's see. So one more question, and I got through them all. Risa Malima. It's been a while. Current favorite dinosaur. I'm probably going to go with. Let me see here. Yeah, so I'm going to go with the Deinonychus. I don't know if I can get this to stop looking at my face. The Deinonychus is probably current favorite because I was able to snatch some really sweet Dino Rider toys. Actually, when I went to Gamehole Con, there's an epic vintage toy store up there in Madison that is called Meepleton's World of Fun. If you're in that area, it's an absolute must stop in that place. And Dino Riders are hard to find, and when you do find them online, it's tough to trust that you're getting something good. But I snagged a couple of Deinonychuses that were my favorites when I was a kid. So I'm going to say that is going to be my current favorite dinosaur. Thank you so much for checking in. That's very important to me, and I appreciate the question. All right, I think that is all of the questions. Thanks, everyone, for joining me this week. Really appreciate it. Hope everyone has a good rest of your week, and we will see you here next Tuesday. You can join tonight at 6 p.m. Pacific for the next episode of Children of Erte. Things are getting really good. See you later, Gators.